To the Wealthy LaLa Show with myself, Laurie Larson. And if you're a new listener, Lala is my grandma name. And so I am loving a wealthy life as a Lala. So yeah, that is what we're going for. And I love to look for more and more areas for that to be a possibility in my world. You know, where could I add more wealth of relationship, fun, friendship, and, could be, and money and exciting, fun things, adventure. So whatever that looks like. And I'd love to inspire you to find out what wealth is like for you, what it is for you, and how to create that in your life. So today is December 31st, and Happy New Year's Eve. So on to a brand new year, and I just wonder what else is possible. It is something that we could choose at any time of the year, and it is kind of neat when it's the end of a calendar year. We're starting a new calendar year. It's as good as time as any, and sometimes I think it's almost easier to grasp as a concept to have as a new beginning. And so today is Monday, and not usually, I guess last Monday was my first Monday. And I was going to go with kind of a theme of Majestic Mondays. And as the week went on, I was like, does it have to match the M? Because I kind of did do the theme. So who knows? I could change the other days too. It just might happen. But I'd love to go with like a Curious Monday. I wonder how curious we could be as this next week is upon us. It's the Monday. Most people, it's the beginning of the week, of their work week, and I wonder how we can inspire curiosity into our lives to create more. Now, what's really interesting is I have always been a curious person. I did not really know that about myself until, say, the last 5 years. And what I've discovered is the gift that curiosity is. So rather than taking everything as face value, as this is just what it is, there's always been this part of me that has wanted to know more, to be more, to play more, to almost like fix things. But I don't necessarily, that would be how I would have said it before. But it's almost like create greater. So how can I create greater with my body? How can I create greater with friendships? How can I create greater with fun? With the different relationships in my life and stuff. And that's actually what I really aspire to be. So, I'd love to make Mondays like a Curious Monday and start off our weeks with some curiosity, just exploring it. And I just find it so incredibly fascinating. Yesterday, actually, my daughter and I went to the city. I live about an hour northeast of Edmonton, Alberta. I live on a farm, and it snowed yesterday. So it said it was going to snow. So when we left to the city, it wasn't snowing yet. And we went into the city, we grabbed a few things, exchanged a couple things, and then we decided to go see a movie. So we went to go see Mary Poppins, and when we came out of the movie, it was really snowing. Like there was probably like an inch of snow on my vehicle, and we still had a couple more things to do. And we still wanted to grab something to eat, like at a restaurant or whatever. And, I just sort of noticed, because it was like almost like an ice snow when it was coming down, and I was aware of where before I would have worried about something like that. And I was like, I know enough now that the universe has my back and that it felt really light. And so for me, when something feels light, that's expansive, it's true for me to choose. I got that it was light for us to go. And if I would have had at any point, it was heavy, no, let's pick a different day. I would have chose not to go to the city. And it didn't have that sense at all. So anyways, here we are after the movie, we come out the roads, there's a lot of snow on the roads, like a lot. And we still chose to go to another small city that was close by. It's called Fort Saskatchewan. Went for a yummy Vietnamese food supper. And then we chose to go to Walmart and to grab a few things. And we're coming out of Walmart. And again, like I'm thinking, this is really kind of crazy. And when we drove home, we were driving. So in Canada, for those of you who live in the US or other parts of the world, they go by miles per hour. We go by kilometers per hour. And so we pretty much drove 60, maximum 80 kilometers an hour on the way home. And I did not find myself stressed out. Were the roads bad? Absolutely. They were actually crazy awful. And I was really grateful that there wasn't a lot of other traffic on the road. Most people probably chose to stay home and off the roads. And for me, that actually made it really nice because then I only had me to, focus on. And sometimes you actually got the whole road to yourself. You didn't have to worry about the other side because a lot of times you couldn't even see where the lines were. So you were guessing. But anyways, it ended up being just a really cool day. And so I could have come home, and I may have done this before, but I realize I've actually not been that sort of, I want to say pessimistic of a person. But a lot of people would choose to go, that was really crazy. We should have never done that. What were we thinking? Or we could have just complained about the weather and complained about it. And why does it have to snow? And this is terrible weather. And just make something so miserable out of it. And what was funny? Because the more I go into like what's right about what's going on, what's right about this world that we live in, looking for, a different perspective, I find it harder and harder to go to those kind of points of view, like the bitching and whining and complaining about things. I just can't do it. It just doesn't feel good. It just feels heavy. So it's the opposite of the light and expansive that I feel. It's heavy. And when something is heavy, it means it's not true for me. And so if I start going down that way, or if say, then I'm like, this isn't fun. And me sound a little Pollyannish, and oh well, I'll live in my Pollyanna little world here. But anyways, it ended up like my daughter and I, we got home safely. Everything was fine, and I just get like, what if that was a part of the adventure of living? That life isn't meant to be perfect roads and perfect weather all the time. Oh, I know one thing I was going to say. So I was having a chat with someone this morning, and they made a comment about the weather that's coming up. Now, we just got a lot of snow overnight. And so, we've had it blew in our driveway. We have to use our tractor to clear it out. We're going to need graders to go down our roads to clean off the roads. This could be an inconvenience, or it could be something to be entertained with. And so this person had said to me, started complaining about, oh my God, like the weather's going to be like this, and this over the next few days. This is terrible. And I stopped and I thought, we live in Alberta. Alberta has winters. And so I turned and I looked at this person, and what was easy to reference is the fact that my beautiful daughter is 5 months pregnant with her first baby. The idea of pregnancy popped into my head, and I turned and I looked at this person and I said, well, I said, imagine if we looked at pregnancy and we went around and we went, oh my God, Like, I think it's just absolutely ridiculous that people are pregnant for 9 months. Why are we not just pregnant for 5? We should just be pregnant for 5 months. This is just ridiculous. I hate that this happens every single time. Like, could you imagine if every pregnant woman started complaining? And I mean, I guess maybe there's some, and I'm not discrediting the ones that have a terrible pregnancy. My point is that we're arguing and we're complaining about something that we can't control. You know, I just, and the more I get out of the complaining about things, the more I'm mind boggled, and actually in awe of the complaining, like, I gotta truthfully say. So I just wonder, like, this is where I want us to get curious about life and curious about, are Mondays really that bad? Like, oh God, it's a Monday. Well, aren't you choosing to work? Isn't there a benefit to work? Do you get paid at the end of the day? Does it provide you with friendships? Does it provide you with something to do? Does it keep you busy? Like, isn't there something that can be looked at it in a different perspective that could create some lightness in your world? Because the more light that we actually choose and create in our world, the more light we actually create in our worlds. And I've actually really got to see that. And so is there a place in your world where you could be more curious? There was another conversation that I had just recently with someone. I actually was reading something. I think it was in one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's books. And it was Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I think it was that one. And I've thought of this myself because I worked 32 years in a hospital. I had inpatients and outpatients come in, all the time. That's what our job was. I never once got sick from a patient, but I was around sick patients. But yet we buy into that we're going to get sick from our brother. We're going to get sick from our family member. We're going to get sick. The kids get sick at school from other kids. Yet you can have a doctor who doesn't get sick from patients. And I didn't get sick from patients. And when you actually really look at that, like, where did we decide that we're going to get sick from other people, and then make that a truth? And so I would just invite people to just sort of ask the question, because this could really be a controversial subject. If you're a person who's really believing that we get sick from other people, you're not going to think what I'm saying is really that cool. It might really be kind of poking you. And I just wonder, when we look around at our world and so many people are unhappy, like, is it because of the things that we've bought? Like, imagine if I went to a function and did not believe that any other person there could make me sick. I would definitely have more ease with it. Like, when we have a family function, if someone comes and they say they're sick, I'm not concerned about it. I don't get sick from them. If I get sick, I get sick. I get sick and I ask questions as to why I got sick. It may have been triggered by me being around someone who is sick, but I wouldn't have got sick if I wasn't going to get sick. So what's going on in my world that created me being sick? What am I sick of? What am I sick and tired of? Oh man, I'm so aware that this could wedgie some people, really be an uncomfortable subject. I've opened a whole can of whoop ass and worms, people. Oh, jeepers. I know when I started to I've taken like hundreds of classes and workshops over the last 18 years. And when I started to get into the whole idea of questions, I'm not going to lie that there were a lot of this that came up and started to create, it poked me when people started to go, well, is that really true, Laurie? Is that really true for you? Did you actually really look at it? Do you actually really dislike? Oh, I'm trying to think of something that I dislike so I can make it a good example, and I just can't think of anything right now. So if something comes to mind, I'll bring it up. But So anyways, there's just like really just asking a question. Oh, well, see, one of the things that I really believed was that I could get tired, that I would, if I didn't get enough sleep, I would then be too tired for the day and then I would have a problem during the day. Well, is that really true? Or is it often that our point of view creates that? We start to buy that we're going to be tired, we don't get enough sleep. Like think about it. If you're going on a vacation and you only get 5 hours of sleep, you get to the airport and you're like pumped because you're on a vacation. Well, what's the difference between getting 5 hours of sleep and going to work? Like, is it really work or the vacation or you didn't get enough sleep? Or like, what's the possibilities there? Is it really possible that with knowing you're going on a holiday, you have a different perspective? So it invites in a lightness and an ease in your body, and there's nothing to be tired for. So anyways, and again, this is the whole thing about questions. For each of us, it's different each day. It's different with each situation. There is not a one size fits all. And I noticed a lot in this reality, we really want to try and connect with other people in one sizes fits all. And and I just wonder what's possible with that if we could all see the beauty and the individuality of each of us, and that our lives are each unique and beautiful and fun and amazing, and find out how that is for each of us. And just on a last note, as I'm coming to an end here, I just got to share one thing about the movie. We saw the Mary Poppins movie, so there was quite a few families in the movie theater, and so young kids. And so just as the movie was over and the credits start to run, thus we hear this little girl go, "Yay!" And she starts clapping. And oh God, it just made us giggle. So then the lights come on in the theater, and my daughter and I were sitting like at the second last row up near the top. And this little girl happened to be just a few rows in front of us. And she turns around and she looks at everybody and she says, "Did everyone just love the movie?" Oh my God, it was so adorable. She had so much joy in her world that even if the movie was good, she was great. Like it was just such a beautiful way to end the movie. Oh, so people, I would love to invite you to curiosity in your life and see what fun you can have with it. And if you guys ever have questions and want to know more about it, please, reach out to me, email me, reach out to me with my website, ask me questions. What would you like to hear about? And yeah, and if you even have questions about how this kind of poked you, please send them my way. So have an amazing week, my friends, and I am so grateful for you. And until next time, and have a happy New Year.